Hey guys, David. This is Express Auto Transmission. We like to play with transmissions here, and we like having you guys here watching our videos. So thank you guys for watching. Welcome back. We're gonna go see what's on the bench today.
This is the 456 hub. This is the shaft.
The idea behind that is to get as much oil to the fourth clutch as quick as you possibly can. And we've got a beautiful vacuum. That's not good. Ace Barolo. What's up, guys? We're back on the bench again. I don't know how, but we've managed to get back here. Today, we're gonna be working on this thing. For you guys that don't know, this is a 6045. This is out of a 2013 Buick Encore. Vehicle has 110,000 miles on it. Customer complaint is that it is slipping in second, it is slipping in third. After the vehicle gets hot, it gets a lock-up shutter, and so on and so forth. So we believe that there's a problem inside of the transmission. We done our initial diagnostics. We found that our shift adapt timing was way above what it was supposed to be. And some of you guys are saying, well what is it supposed to be? I was taught a joke here a while back. Most technicians say, it was within spec. That's because they don't know what the spec is. The spec is on the shift adapt table that it has a threshold number that it goes to, at which point it sets a maximum adapt hard or long shift code, and then it raises line pressure up and starts slamming into gear. That threshold is supposed to be 0.88 on the 1-2 shift, 2-3 shift, 3-4 shift, 4-5 shift, so on and so forth. This one was at 1.8 seconds for the 1-2 shift, which tells me there's something wrong in there. We're gonna take it apart, we're gonna see what we got. Here we go. Well, the fluid definitely doesn't look very good.
Look at that big old beautiful valve body.
All right, we're gonna start unplugging some sensors here. You guys are gonna rebuild one of these things yourself, or you're gonna put a new techm on. One thing I highly recommend doing is replacing these two speed sensors. They are a huge failure. And I'm not saying GM's a bunch of failures or anything, but those things fail a lot. And well, if you're that far into it, why not just replace them and be done the first time? Forgot my socket, better grab me a socket. All right, let's take this valve body off. Okay, all the 10s are the same. 7s are the short ones. I can never remember. Get those guys out of the way. That is definitely the late style techm, which is way better than the early style. Don't have nearly the problems the early ones did. Now then, we're gonna get this big old goofy thing out of here. Set it to the side. I'm gonna go ahead and pull that valve body the rest of the way off of there. All right, set that dude to the side. Get our separator plate out of there. All right, now we're getting down to the nitty gritty stuff. You guys can already see that wire sheathing has come off. Multiple places it's actually broken. So that doesn't really mean a whole lot outside of the sheathing's junk, but if the sheathing's junk, I bet the sensor's not doing so hot either. So we'll replace it. Get the turbine speed sensor out of there. All right, guys, let's see what's inside of this turd. Now then, before we stick our screwdriver in there, take 2 seconds to make sure you don't have any bolts left. I personally forgot a bolt one time. It was one time, it happened one time, I swear. It was only one bolt. And this was on an ECAT 10 years ago. Stuck a screwdriver in there, popped it loose, broke the side of the casting, and my boss lost his frickin' melons on me over it. Come to find out, those things were hard to come by, so that was my fault. But always make sure you check, make sure there's no other bolts. Nothing worse than breaking a tranny because you're stupid. Not stupid, not smart. Now, another thing we're gonna do is I like to take a punch and jar each dowel pin. The reason I'm doing this is if the the dowel pins are stuck from this thing sitting with an aluminum housing and a steel dowel pin, and it is rusted in there, then the case won't come off anyway. So sometimes you just gotta play with them a little bit. All right. Ta-da! For you guys that are wanting to do a transmission service on this thing, this is your filter, and this is the case. So you cannot change this filter without taking the case apart. Totally sucks. Let's look down inside of there. Well, that's not good. It should not be silver. Shouldn't be silver floating all over this thing. It's not good, guys. Not good at all. Get out of there! These guys like to get stuck. Rawr! I am so sorry. Alrighty. Yep. There's a lot of silvers on there. That can't be good. Inside of here is the pump. I'm gonna pour some fluid on myself. You'll also notice that there's 2 valves, regulator valves, lockup valves, all kinds of very interesting stuff in this guy. So, I'm thinking, you guys probably wanna know what's inside of there, right? Let's take it apart too. I think that is all the bolts. Should be a spot right here. These things get a little stuck sometimes. You gotta kind of wiggle them. We just talked about it, and I forgot it. If it doesn't wiggle free, go back and check. Told you guys, you can't ever not stop thinking. Oh no! All right. So we have a set of pump gears. Notice that the pump gears are stepped. These things only go in one direction. Dots face up, and they're timed. That's the other cool part about these things. You'll notice that that dot follows the other dot. If this thing's in correctly, those dots should be following every time. One major area we see a lot of problems here is on the outside of this gear. If this unit had a lot of metal through it, this gear will be damaged. It'll actually chew into this pump housing, at which point this housing is garbage. Buy a new one, start over. And if you guys think that you can just get on your favorite website and order one, yep, that's just from the manufacturing there. You can't. This thing needs to be bought from either Transtar or a major transmission supply company, and you need to buy a good one. Don't buy the cheap one. We're not saying that Norman's junk or anything like that. I'm just saying buy the good one. There's a reason it's expensive. You need to replace it. So we're gonna move on. Get this guy out of our way. Let's see what we got in here. All right, get our final drive out of the way. Get this big old chain and sprocket dilly out of here. Woo-hoo! Final drive sun gear and chain. Move this big old sprocket out of the way. Look at that guy. Who would have ever thought your little bitty Buick's got that big of a gear inside of it? We all know that, hell, even 4L60s don't have gears that big in them. But 4L60s do like to go to neutral a lot, so maybe they need big gears. Get this stuff out of our way. Now we're gonna get our tube system out, and we're going to remove our parking pawl. To remove the parking pawl, you have to take this spring off, like so. Lift this all the way out, and then the parking pawl comes out. Lay that to the side. That's not good. Needs to roll it. Yeah. Oh. That's not good either, guys. Ruh-roh, Raggy.
You want these out too?
Oh man, yeah, grab those out too. All right, get our big old snap ring out of the way. Well, that's not good.
Wow.
That ain't supposed to be broke.
That's pretty thick too.
Yeah, that one's thicker than a Snicker. She's got a big old crack in her. Alright, let's start stacking up some of these Planetary components. So, we have a broken case. That is not good at all, guys. Gonna have to find us a rear case half. Those clutches don't look too terrible. Planetary. Planetary. We're just gonna set these all off to the side because we don't need them right at the moment. Get our support out. This is a common area where we see a lot of problems. If you're building one of these things and you don't know this yet, always replace these two bonded pistons. This piston breaks, you have a really big problem. This piston breaks, you have a really big problem. Pistons are 30 bucks a piece. Buy some pistons, put them in there. They're available. Now, get down here in the low clutch area. Push these feed tubes out of our way. Grab a hold of our clutch here, and not in too bad a shape there either. Come here. Diode sprag in there. Move down here to the goods. All right. Hey. All right. Now let's take some of this stuff off here and see what we got here. At least check out these clutches and see how bad they are. All right, we're checking for sealing ring wear on the back of this drum. It's another area of known issues. Those sealing rings are really bad about chewing into the back of the drum. Those clutches aren't in terrible shape. That's surprising. Now then, there's a couple of different ways you can take this apart. If you guys want to know a cheating trick, what I like to do, stick this thing in a press, put a power glide band. You heard me right. Power glide band. Right across here, put your block on top of it, you can push this down and you can remove this snap ring, at which point all of this will come off the back of this drum. If you do this incorrectly and you break that tab off, you have to buy this whole piece. If you break the tab off, buy a new one. You're up the creek without a paddle, there's no saving it. So be very careful when you're taking this thing apart. Put it in a press, outside the power glide band around it, push down, Bob's your uncle. So, with that being said, I don't see any major failure in this thing outside of the fact that it broke the case, filled the filter full of metal, and it's just generally broke. I mean, you shouldn't have big old steel plates cracking. That's not our cracked one. Where's our cracked one at? Let me get that guy over here. You should not have steel plates cracking like that. That is definitely a problem. So, we'll see if we can't find one of these and get this guy back on the road. Thank you guys as always for watching. Don't forget we've got a giveaway coming up here pretty soon. Seems like the numbers are starting to just kind of take off on their own. So we'll be back with you guys with more here shortly.